Thanks for checking out the Next Level Radio YouTube page. If you like what you hear, be sure to head over to nextlevelradioonline.com. There you can find out how to listen to more podcasts with great guests, including ones that are not on the YouTube page. You can either download them on iTunes, Stitcher, or just stream them straight from the website. You also find the links to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep you updated on everything we have going on. And you also find some other great stuff, including event coverage like Philly Comic-Con and movie reviews as well. Again, that's nextlevelradioonline.com. Thanks for listening.
This is Kevin Bigley from Tyrant, and you're listening to Next Level Radio.
Do you have an actual nickname on set?
Probably Apple. Yeah, we're usually called Shut Up pretty often. I think that's it. I was always called Smalley when I was a kid. I was so small. They used to call me Kevin Smalley, or Not So Bigley. So I was just a tiny little kid. But those were my nicknames. And I beat the hell out of those guys.
Hi, this is Chris Gear.
Hi, this is Claire Coffey.
Hey, this is Lucky Yates.
Hey all, this is David Hoffman, and you are listening to Next Level Radio. Have fun.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Showcast, episode 17 of our second season, and this is a different one. Because
A different one.
It's a different one.
They were all the same.
Well, Ben, you're right about that.
Well, because to my left,
They're all different.
because they all are. But I am Ben Beck, and to my left is Steve Richards, and to
Hi.
my right, Adam Gorey. We are all in the same room. Yeah, let's wave to each other. For the first time in the history of the Showcast and Next Level Network, we are all in the same room, thanks to DeSales University.
And WDSR.
WDSR, their radio station, allowing us to use their studio for our podcast this week, and hopefully future podcasts as well, and in-studio interviews as well. So,
If you want to listen, go to desales.edu/WDSR.
that's if you want to listen to their radio.
To them,
station.
not us.
Yeah.
You're
wanna
listening to us
us
now, so I think you got that part covered.
Yeah. But just to cover it even further, nextlevelradioonline.com. Follow us on Twitter at NXT Level Radio. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/nextlevelradioonline. And of course, subscribe to us on iTunes. Just search for Next Level Radio in the iTunes store and you will find us. So, first question of this episode, obviously, how was everybody's week?
Good. Saw a movie.
We all saw a movie.
I saw a movie too.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Foreshadowing.
The movie we are speaking of is, of course, Avengers: Age of Ultron. We're going to give a little spoiler-free review this week. Well, we're going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible.
Oh, you guys saw Age of Ultron? I thought we were going to see Paul Blart too.
I watched Sex Tape on Friday.
Wait, the movie Sex Tape or a Sex Tape?
Take your pick.
We're going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible this week, because next week we are going to have a surprise celebrity special guest host.
Oh, are we keeping it a surprise?
I don't know. Should we? Or should we just wait and reveal it on Facebook
It's
in a couple
a
days?
surprise for later when we reveal it.
Okay. We'll reveal it later on in the podcast. But this person is going to be joining us to talk about Age of Ultron, other Marvel movies, the future of Marvel, Star Wars, some other pop culture stuff.
Here's a hint for anyone who's listened to our podcast before. His name was almost Sheriff.
That's a good hint. I think that might have been giving it away, but
If you listen to the podcast, yeah.
yeah.
Which they do because they're listening right now.
It's going to be a lot of fun, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Coming up on this episode of the podcast, however, as I said, we are going to give a mini review on Age of Ultron. We are going to, Adam and I had the chance to speak with Drew Powell from Fox's Gotham. We're going to give you that a little bit later on the podcast. And then a topic we've been wanting to do for a while. We're going to cover our favorite cover songs. Get it? Cover our favorite cover songs. See what I did there?
It's a good one.
I should try not to make jokes like that here because I can get smacked. Since we're all in the same room.
Can and will.
Yep. So, but yeah, we're going to go over at least our top 5 favorite cover songs. Thank you. I'm here for the rest of the day. So, but for right now, let's get started with the podcast and let's hit the box office for the week. All right, Adam. How's the box office looking?
All right, so only one movie in the top 5. I'm sure we can all guess what it is.
Wait, there's only one movie in the top 5?
One new movie, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Number 5, dropping back a spot, Home, the animated movie that has been in the top 5 every week in all 6 weeks. It made only $3.3 million, though, so pretty easy to get in the top 5. I think all 3 of us could have put a movie together and made the top 5 this week.
I think it's the new Paddington.
Should have tried then.
I don't think it's the new Paddington. Steve, what do you think? Do you think it's the new Paddington?
Home?
Consider it has a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes and Paddington has 146%.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Anyway, 6-week total, 158.1 million. Number 4, dropping back from number 2, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, 5.5 million for a 3-week total of 51.1. Furious 7 still in the top 5, making it at number 3 with another 6.1 million, a 5-week total of $330.5 million.
That's incredible.
Which is what the Avengers made this week. No, I'm just kidding. Age of Adeline, or Adeline, I always forget.
I think it's Adeline.
Adeline. You're Adeline.
Beat me to it.
Court's
Actually moved up a spot to number 2. 6.2 million this week for a 2-week total of 23.4. And number 1, Avengers Age of Ultron. I think I already told you all what it made, and y'all already know anyway.
Well, before you reveal it, what were our predictions last week? See if who got
Steve
close.
said 330 million.
I'm not sure I said that, no.
I said like 230 something.
I know I said
You
257.
said like 280 or something.
No, I said 257.
Oh, Steve said 213 because that's what the last one made.
And according to Steve, we
No,
were
I
playing.
said it was a little bit more than what the last one made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And according to Steve, we were playing Price is Right rules. The closest without going over, Steve.
Yeah.
We all lost
We
because
all lost.
it only made 187.6.
But if you go closest, Steve won.
Correct. But I think we were saying that had to do with the huge sports night of Saturday night Steve was talking about last week.
Yeah,
With the
the
fight and everything.
Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather fight, which was boring as shit.
Steve, what'd you think of the fight?
I went as expected, but that didn't stop people from being outraged from the result.
Did you think... I saw a couple rounds, not to really get too far off topic and talk about fighting, but there were a couple rounds where I thought, just me looking at it, I thought Pacquiao would have won, but they still gave it to Mayweather. So
The round, you mean?
Yeah, at that point I was like, yep, I really don't know anything about boxing.
Yeah, I was surprised the score was as close as it was.
So you thought it should have been further?
Yeah,
to
like the
Mayweather.
one to get into boxing. They give you 10 points a round, and the one judge had it 118, 111. And that's what I would have thought, but 2 judges had it 116.
116, 112,
Yeah,
right?
so that was closer than I thought it was.
See, me as someone who knows nothing about boxing, that's probably about what I thought it was. So clearly their judges don't know that much either.
I did learn one thing on social media last night, though, that Mayweather's fans are just as cocky as Mayweather when it comes to it.
Yeah.
I knew he couldn't be beat. Told you he couldn't be beat. Shut up.
Anyway, Avengers has a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, Age of Ultron, 90 from the audience. To compare that to the first one, it is already certified fresh. The first one had a 92% from the critics and a 91 from the audience. So,
Well, I have a theory behind that, but we'll talk about that.
We'll get into that, a little bit later. So movies coming out this week. I'll go through the ones. I'll go a little more in depth as far as the ones that are releasing in more theaters, and it's really not a lot. This Friday's May 8th. The D Train is releasing in 700 and plus theaters. The D Train is starring Katherine Hahn, James Marsden, Jack Black. It's a comedy about the head of a high school reunion committee who travels to LA to track down the most popular guy from his graduating class and convince him to go to the reunion. I think the popular guy being James Marsden, Jack Black being the head of the high school committee. Coming out, and that's only 700 plus. Coming out in 2,700 plus theaters is Hot Pursuit, the Sofia Vergara, Reese Witherspoon film about an uptight and by-the-book cop who tries to protect the outgoing widow of a drug boss as they race through Texas, pursued by crooked cops and murderous gunmen.
I think we were all in agreement that this was a dumpster fire trailer,
I believe you are
and
correct.
we reviewed it.
Coming out in 50 theaters, 5 Flights Up. Yes, 50 theaters. Morgan Freeman is in that movie. Diane Keaton is also in that movie. It's a drama about a longtime married couple who've spent their lives together in the same New York apartment, become overwhelmed by personal and real estate related issues when they plan to move away. So it's probably based on somebody's life at some point.
This is the second movie he's in with the word flight in the title. Correct?
I think you're thinking of Denzel Washington.
Who did you say?
Morgan Freeman.
Ah, crap.
Racist.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Maggie, a limited release this week. That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger film with Abigail Breslin about a teenage girl in the Midwest who becomes infected by an outbreak of a disease that slowly turns the infected into cannibalistic zombies. During her transformation, her loving father stays by her side. We also talked about that one in Trailer Trash. And then finally, as far as getting into movies, Saint Laurent is coming out limited as well. That is Jeremy Renner, not Jeremy Renner. It's a biography drama about Yves Saint Laurent's life from 1967 to 76, during which time the famed fashion designer was at the peak of his career. So not much information on that one as it is limited. Just a couple other things coming out. A documentary called I Am Big Bird, the Carol Spinney story. A biography drama called Noble. Documentary called The 7-5. Action crime thriller called The Skin Trade. And that is it. There's a couple decent movies coming out next week, but I'll save those for next week. Predictions for the top 5. We'll start with Steve.
Hot Pursuit.
That's coming out in the most theaters.
Yep. And this Maggie, what was the Maggie number?
Limited.
Yeah. Maybe D-Train, but probably not. If anything, that would be 5. But Hot Pursuit, give me 2.
Hot Pursuit at number 2. Ben.
I could see Hot Pursuit opening up in the top 5. I don't see it making its way to 2. I really don't. I'll give it maybe 4. Age of Ultron, I think, is definitely still going to hold number 1. There's no question about that. I think Hot Pursuit's going to open 4 or 5. I think Furious 7's still going to stay in the top 5. But yeah, I think Hot Pursuit's going to be the only one. I think it's going to open 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as far as Hot Pursuit goes. I'll give it number 3. Because considering number 2 made $6 million this week, I'll give it number 3. It probably will go number 2, though. That's why Steve just gave me eyebrows. So, that's it for my end.
All right, moving on to my end then for the DVD and Blu-ray releases for the week. Starting off first with Black and White, starring Kevin Costner
And Red All Over?
Really? And Octavia Spencer.
That's a quick one. Wasn't that out like 2 months ago?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was released on, let me see if I can find it, January 30th. I found it before you started doing
This is not the 1999 one with Ben Stiller?
No.
Okay.
Black and White is the story of a grandfather played by Kevin Costner who is suddenly left to care for his beloved granddaughter. So, it was, I'm going back and forth between windows. I'm not used to this. Made about $21.5 million at the box office, 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, from the critics, but a 71 from the audience. So, buy, Netflix, or pass, what are we saying? I'll start with you, Adam.
Netflix.
Steve?
I will not be watching this movie.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Steve. I'm going to pass on this one as well.
Okay.
Moving on next to Selma, starring David Oyelowo and Oprah Winfrey. Got his name right on the first try.
Good job. Holy Yellow Ello.
52.1 million at the box office. 99% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Still doesn't beat Paddington.
What, they had like 106, right?
Something like that.
It's over 100.
87% from the audience. And Selma is the story of a movement, which was the movement that Martin Luther King made from Selma to Montgomery. So buy Netflix.
Do you remember what state that was in?
That was
Do it.
Alabama. Buy Netflix or pass. Actually, we've all seen it already.
We have.
So,
I've already seen.
If I were the buying type, I would give it a buy. But since I'm not, I'll give it a Netflix.
And Netflix. I'll probably give it a Netflix as well. Steve?
Yeah, I agree. I would buy it if I bought movies, but I don't. So I'll watch it when it's on.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And last with the DVD and Blu-ray releases, boy oh boy, 50 Shades of Grey. $166.1 million at the box office, starring Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan. We're not going to go over the synopsis of this movie because it's stupid.
Do they have a crafty name for the unrated version?
I don't know.
I assume it's the unrated
It's probably
version.
like Untied or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
25%. 25%.
Here's the synopsis. It's actually a clip directly from the film.
25% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The twist is that's Dakota Johnson.
It's actually Dakota Fanning.
44% from the audience, so nobody liked this movie.
Well, 44 out of 100 people did.
It's percentage. So 44 out of every 100.
That's what I just said.
You said out of 100.
Survey says.
I'm not getting into statistics with
All
you.
right. So, but that's going to wrap it up for the box office for the week.
Did we want to do this quiz thing?
Why not?
Okay. So there's a quiz that was on BuzzFeed a few months ago, I think, and we saved it for this exact moment, essentially. The quiz is, are these quotes by Christian Grey, the main character in 50 Shades of Grey, or are they quotes from a serial killer?
I haven't seen it.
Neither have I.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. Like, he's asking us, and we haven't seen it.
Let's see who can win this one, all right? There's, I don't know how many questions, but we're just going to go with it. So, here we go. If you struggle, I'll tie your feet, too. Is that Christian Grey or a serial killer?
Christian Grey.
I'll say serial killer.
Christian Grey. Steve gets that's 1 point for Steve. I don't have like a ding.
They start you out easy. You
Yeah.
gotta take them when you can get them.
The desire to inflict pain. That is all that is uppermost. Is that Christian Grey or a serial killer? Ben, you start.
I'll say serial killer again.
Christian Grey.
It's a serial killer.
Yes.
It's one each.
1-1.
I thought this was one of those tricks where it's always Christian Grey.
It should be. Number 3. I am a monster. Christian Grey or a serial killer?
Am I allowed to say both? That's a really generic sentence.
I'm sure a serial killer has said it once or twice, so basically has Christian Grey said it.
Yes, Christian Grey said this.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm going to say Christian Grey.
When in doubt, go Christian Grey, and that's wrong, actually.
Oh, damn it.
Serial killer. David Berkowitz is the serial killer who had said that. Number 4, I may have to torture it out of you. Christian Grey, a serial killer, or Jack Bauer?
Or Jack Bauer?
No, just kidding. Still just the two choices.
I'll go back to serial killer again.
Christian Grey.
I think it's probably Christian Grey. It is Christian Grey.
Damn it! I'm no good at this
Steve
game.
takes the lead by 1. Next up, I haven't blocked out the past. I wouldn't trade the person I am or what I've done or the people I've known for anything. This is a long one. I'll read it again. I haven't blocked out the past. I wouldn't trade the person I am or what I've done or the people I've known for anything.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I think this one's a layup.
Serial killer.
Just for the fact that I'm behind, I'll say Christian Grey.
I haven't clicked it yet, but I think it's serial killer because that's entirely too normal.
I think it is too, but I gotta
serial
try.
killer is the correct answer.
Damn it!
Ted Bundy said that.
I had a feeling it was serial killer, but I was behind, so I had to take a chance.
Well, now you're even further behind.
I know.
And there's still a few questions left, so you got some time. All right, so the next one. If you were mine, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a week.
You're first.
Christian Grey.
Christian Grey or serial killer?
I can't think of a funny serial killer because serial killers aren't funny. Christian Grey.
Christian Grey is correct.
All right.
Steve still has a 2-point lead. I want to hurt you. Christian Grey or serial killer?
Serial killer. Oh.
Christian Grey.
It is Christian Grey.
Yes.
Ben
Only
cuts
down
the
by
lead-
1 now.
Cuts the lead to 1. Take your worst nightmares and put my face to them. Christian Grey or serial killer?
Serial killer.
Leatherface. What is it again?
Take your worst nightmares and put my face to them.
Serial killer.
What'd you say?
Serial killer.
It is serial killer.
Okay.
Who is it?
It was Tommy Lynn Sells.
I don't know that many serial killers.
Yeah, me neither.
No. Let's see. There's a total of 15 questions, so
What are we on?
we are on number 9.
Okay.
We'll get through these pretty quickly here. I always had the desire to inflict pain on others and to have others inflict pain on me. Is that Christian Grey or serial killer?
That's Christian Grey.
Serial killer.
I think I'm agreeing with Steve on this one. No, it is a serial killer.
And it's back.
It's all tied up.
It's tied up.
That was Albert Fish.
Okay.
Next up. I'm going to hit you 6 times, and you will count with me. Count Chocula.
One hit.
One. Like the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Which how many times I gotta slap you before you act right?
That was the whole quote?
Was it the whole quote?
That was the whole quote. I'm going to hit you 6 times, minus the Count Chocula.
Count
stuff.
Chocula?
Yeah. Or no, I'm Count Chocula. I'm just thinking the Count. Count Chocula is the guy on the cereal.
Yeah, well,
Close enough.
I said the next thing, so.
Yeah.
Christian Grey.
Yeah, that's written for a book.
Christian Grey it is. When this monster entered my brain, I will never know, but it is here to stay.
Christian Grey.
I'll say serial killer.
Serial killer it is. Ben
Nice.
takes the lead. Dennis Rader said it. 3 questions left, or maybe 4. I hated all my life. I hated everybody. Christian Grey or serial killer? Ben's
Serial
turn to
killer.
go first. Serial killer.
That's
Steve.
Christian Grey. It's too melodramatic.
No, it's a serial killer.
This is the worst.
This is one of the all-time comebacks. If you make a noise, I will gag you. Keep quiet.
Serial killer! I'm done. I quit.
I'm going to say Christian Grey.
It is Christian Grey.
Would have been sweet if it was serial killer.
That
2
would've been-
questions left. Steve can't come back, but just for fun. I don't lose sleep over what I have done or have nightmares about it. Christian Grey or serial killer. We'll make Ben go first on these next 2.
What was the quote again?
I don't lose sleep over what I have done or have nightmares about it.
Serial killer.
Yeah, it's a serial killer.
It is a serial killer. That's Dennis Nilsson. And finally, Alaska is very cold and no place to run. I would find you. I can track your cell phone, remember?
Christian Grey.
Christian Grey.
Has to be Christian Grey. Yep. Christian
I can track your cell phone, remember?
Christian freaking Grey. I think what we all learned from that is that he's pretty much a murderer.
Yeah.
So, that's the end of the quiz. Ben wins. Good job, Ben.
Thank you.
And let's move on.
I would bow, but I'd hit my head on a microphone. I just realized we were going to do trailer trash, but we didn't watch the trailers.
That's correct.
Way to go, guys.
We'll do it after the break.
Way to take pride in your work.
All right. So then we'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll do trailer trash, next level news, a review of Avengers: Age of Ultron, and continue on. So stick around, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, this is Charles Halford, Chaz from NBC Constantine. I want to thank you for listening to Next Level Radio. Stay tuned.
Oh no, it's a PL2 too! All right, we are back with the Showcast, and since we didn't get a chance to do it in the first break, we're going to do it now. I'm going to send it over to Steve for the trailer trash.
Howdy, y'all. It's time for the trailer trash. Cletus, I thought I told you to sit down and shut up.
So now that we've watched them all, Steve, what do we got going on?
Well done.
Thank God for breaks.
This week we're going to do just pretty much in order that they came out in during the week. I don't have a real plan with it. So, the first one is
Always good.
Strangerland, which the synopsis is a family finds their dull life in rural outback town rocked after 2 teenage children disappear into the desert, sparking disturbing rumors of their past. Top billed is Nicole Kidman, Hugo Weaving, Joseph Fiennes, who I don't know if he's related to Ralph or not.
Yeah, I think it's...
Is it Fiennes?
I think it's Fiennes, but yeah, I think it's Ralph Fiennes' brother.
Yeah. And, yeah, that's good enough. And, this comes out, it doesn't really have a release date. It comes out 2015 in Australia. So, what do you guys think of, Strangerland? Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, okay, I'll start it off. I think it looks pretty decent. Anytime I see a movie with Hugo Weaving, though, I'm automatically waiting for a Mr. Anderson quote from The Matrix.
Your children are missing, Mr. Anderson.
or him to have pointy ears from Lord of the Rings.
Or a mask on.
Oh, from V for Vendetta. Forgot about that. Good call.
He got the reference.
Way to go, dude.
I'll definitely give this one a... see, did we come up with one in the middle? Keep it in the dumpster.
No, but we literally probably just keep saying keep it in the dumpster. So
Keep it in the dumpster.
Kinda might as
I'll
well
give
be
it
it.
somewhere in the middle. I don't know if I'll go to theaters to see it. I gotta wait until I see a little bit more on it. But for
take
right
it
now,
out of the dumpster, look at it for a couple seconds, and put it
and
back.
then just put it back in the
Yeah.
dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna fall right in the middle. I'll keep it in the dumpster.
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What do you got, dude? I think it looks good. The trailer does a really good job of bringing intrigue, which I guess is what a trailer's job is. So this is a treasure for me. I'll go on one side or the other at least and say that I'll probably see this one. I don't know if it'll be in theater or not, like you said, but
I guess
it does intrigue me.
I guess I'll give like a little bit of actually the reason why
Well,
I
don't
have
care
it in the
I don't care
dumpster.
if you do or not.
Because like halfway through the
hate
trailer, yes, halfway through the trailer, I was still kind of trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah, it is confusing. The trailer's a little bit confusing.
So that's why.
I can see that.
The next movie, we finally have a rival for Paddington Bear. Chocolate City is the next trailer. Life for a struggling college student changes in an instant when he meets the owner of a male strip club who convinces him to give amateur night a whirl. May 22nd, if you can wait that long, is when it comes out. Carmen Electra is top billed.
I'm trying to get a screener for it. So.
Yeah. Vivica A. Fox is also in it. Michael Jai White, also known as Black Dynamite, if you've seen that.
Fantastic movie.
So good. Robert, I'm not even sure how to say his last. Is it Richard? He's got a apostrophe in the middle of his last name. But he's the main character / stripper. Genuine apparently makes an appearance, which is fantastic. That's plenty. What do you guys think
Darren
of it?
DeWitt.
Darren DeWitt Henson.
Oh yeah, Darren DeWitt Henson.
www.nextlevelradioonline.com/interviews.
2014.
2014 interviews.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, go ahead and just say it.
This
Adam, you
is
wanna start this one?
the
Go ahead, Adam.
African American version of
Magic
Mike. I'll
Yes.
say it.
Yeah.
I'll be the one.
Way to use African
Because
American.
if Ben said it,
Racist.
we'd have problems. So, no, leave it in the dumpster fire.
Set the whole world on fire. This is terrible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who thought this was a good idea? People are going to see it. though.
People
That's the
who
sad
watch
part.
Tyler Perry movies.
That's true.
And then people who went to see Magic Mike.
Yeah.
I think the trailer literally says magic in it at one point.
Does it?
Yeah. So.
I was too busy rubbing my eyes to notice what the hell was
Oh,
going
is that what you were rubbing?
And I mean, oh god.
Good one.
I'll make the same comment I made before too, and in no way is it a racist comment, but it's sad.
People,
when
you have
people
to-
who preface with this isn't racist, but
I was just
You-
going to say,
you
when you
have
have to preface your statement
you
with,
have a movie that we're considering the African American Magic Mike, and the top billed person on the movie is a white chick.
that's true. It's Carmen Electra.
Carmen Electra.
That's a good point.
It's a dumpster fire for me. Like, just why?
Yeah, this is terrible. I wouldn't even recommend seeing the trailer. You can just not see any of this.
look at just go to IMDb, type in Chocolate City,
and look at the poster.
look at the poster.
Yeah, and you'll get it.
And you have an idea of what the movie is about.
They would have been fine with a teaser trailer.
Yeah. Moving on to real movies. The next is The Last Witch Hunter, which is the last remaining witch hunter, battles against an uprising of witches in modern day New York. Vin Diesel, top billed.
New York.
Unique New York. Rose Leslie, Elijah Wood does not make an appearance in the trailer, I don't believe, but he is,
Not that I saw.
third billed in the movie.
I thought you were getting ready to say like Elijah Wood is not in this movie.
I could have said that. Yeah, that's
wouldn't
good
know
enough.
it by the trailer.
And this is
Michael Caine.
Oh yeah,
Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine opens the trailer and he's not billed in the top 30 of the movie, so I'm not sure what they're doing, but yeah, Michael Caine is in it obviously because he's in the trailer. Set for release October 23rd, 2015. Ben, I think it's your turn. Last Witch Hunter.
I think we built this as what? Quadruple X?
Yeah.
Yes, this was
During the break.
Quadruple X.
I like Vin Diesel. He's really started to grow on me since the Furious movies. However, this is a dumpster fire. It's another one of those like Van Helsing kind of movies, overproduced.
Good comparison.
Just a story to get out there. What was it?
Hansel and Gretel.
That was the other one I was thinking of, was Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. I'm not even going to waste my time.
This is probably a non-popular opinion. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, sure you did.
You just
It's-
enjoyed it because of Michael Caine.
Trash to treasure. Well, yeah. Whenever you start something out with Michael Caine, it's a trash to treasure instantly. The movie's gonna suck, but I like the trailer. So
Fair enough.
the trailer is trash to treasure.
Trailer did its
I won't
job.
be seeing the movie.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this. I think I'm realizing that I don't like Vin Diesel because I haven't seen the Furious movies, or I haven't seen a lot of them anyway. And this one didn't really interest me at all. I would assume that Vin Diesel is the draw by himself. Like, people just go see Vin Diesel movies
at this point.
But not for me. I'm going to go Dumpster Fire as well. Next is has more of an indie feel, but that's because it's written and directed by Woody Allen, so he kind of does that with all of his movies. Irrational Man. Tormented philosophy professor finds a will to live when he commits an existential act. So that's about as broad as it can get. Emma Stone is top billed. Joaquin Phoenix won't see this movie because Joaquin Phoenix is in this movie. Parker Posey is in this movie as well. Like I said, written and directed by Woody Allen. Set for release July 24th, 2015. Go ahead, Adam.
I'm not a huge... I'm an Emma Stone fan, but I'm not a Joaquin, or as I like to call him, Joaquin Phoenix fan. So to me, this is a leave it in there, because I'm also not a huge Woody Allen fan. So it screams like 2 to no and 1 to yes. So I'm just going to call it in the middle and leave it in the dumpster.
All right. Woody Allen movies with me are hit or miss. So I think I might give it a chance. I do like Emma Stone. I liked what I saw in the trailer. I think it definitely looks interesting. It makes me realize I don't know what the hell that existential event is because they don't tell you at all, but that's probably the point. Yeah. It's probably something as if like he saw a fly land on a flower and it like changed his life or something. Yeah. Knowing Woody Allen. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Woody Allen, he met a younger woman who's also his like stepdaughter.
Yeah,
and that changed his life.
I'll go out on a limb. I'm going to say Trash to Treasure. I might actually go see this.
Yeah, this is a treasure for me as well. I kind of like the direction that Emma Stone's career is going in. This is the second kind of serious movie in a row that she's done.
Birdman.
Yep, Birdman. Yep. And I don't mind Woody. I think the last Woody Allen I saw was probably Midnight in Paris, because it was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it all that much. Like you said, Woody Allen's kind of hit or miss. That's a good assessment of Woody Allen. But this is a treasure for me as well. It kind of intrigues me. I think in the beginning it talked about the Sundance and stuff like that. So it's kind of more of a festival film, which is always a good change from the giant blockbuster sometimes. So
yeah, I think I kind of hope that Emma Stone. I like you said, I like the direction that Emma Stone's career is going, but I hope she doesn't get too big that she can't come back for Zombieland 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've already, or at least they're deep into production, or the thoughts of production.
I think they're in pre-production right now. I don't know if casting's been completed yet, but I hope they get all the original casting.
Yeah, that would be sweet, yeah. And finally this week, we close strong, at least I think, with Legend, which is identical twin gangsters, Ronald and Reginald Cray, terrorized London during the 1950s and 1960s. Obviously, it's a biography crime thriller. This is based on a true story. And the only thing better than Tom Hardy is 2 Tom Hardys, and he plays both Ronald and Reginald Cray, the twins in this movie. So that's fantastic. Emily Browning also in the movie. Taron Egerton, Christopher, how'd you say it? Eccleston is in this.
Was he in Doctor Who?
He was the first, he was when Doctor Who came back, he was the first one.
Yeah, and, Adam pointed out that Chaz Palminteri?
Palminteri.
Yeah, Palminteri is also in this movie. Set for UK release, another international film, for September 11th, 2015. I think it's your turn, Adam. No, it's your turn, Ben, isn't it? I don't know whose turn it is.
This is a guaranteed Trash and Treasure for me. Like you said, not 1, but 2 Tom Hardy roles in this movie. Looking at it, I love mobster movies. This is a mobster movie that takes place in London. So, there's really not much more I can say. It's a Trash and Treasure.
Yeah, I feel like Michael Caine should be in this movie.
Yeah.
If he was, I'm seeing it anyway, but if he was, I'd probably pre-order it on DVD by now.
Yeah.
But no, this looks awesome. This has the feel of like one of those really good gangster movies. Like probably even better. It looks better than I think American Gangster was.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with Ben and pretty much with Adam as well that I like everything about this movie, that Tom Hardy's in it and it's in London and gangster movies and historical type of movies. So I like everything about this movie. This is definitely a Trash to Treasure for me as well.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And Adam, you talk about Tom Hardy. You like him a lot. Have you seen Locke?
Locke.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
He's literally driving in a car for an hour and 45 minutes and talking on the phone.
I have not
seen
that. And
it is awesome. It's the most intriguing movie with one cut the whole time. Well, not one cut, but it's the only scene is him driving in a car. It's fantastic. So that's Tom Hardy's
I've
segment
seen
for this.
part of Bronson,
Yeah.
where he plays Charles Bronson, but just from Inception, even though they screwed up the audio, him as Bane was fantastic, just like him as the character in general. So yeah, I'm becoming more and more a fan of him, and I actually might see at some point Mad Max because of him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Cool. So that actually closes the trash can for the day, or for the week.
All right, cool.
I'll work on getting a sound effect for that.
Closing a trash can?
Closing a trash can.
Okay. That'll work.
That's it.
There it is.
Just slap the table for right now.
Yep.
So,
There you go.
there we go.
That
Close
was
the
a
lid.
Weird trash can.
It was metal on a table. I figured it would work. So, all right, with that being said, we were going to move on to the next part, and we are going to hit the next level news.
Is that better?
That works.
No, that was the door.
We're going to hit the next level news for the week.
This is Next Level News.
All right, I'm going to try and push through these pretty quickly, starting off first with a little unfortunate news. Stand By Me legend Ben E. King dies at 76 years old. Soul and R&B legend Benny King, most famous for his classic song "Stand By Me" and his hits with the Drifters, has died at age 76. Died of natural causes. So unfortunately, another great musical artist gone. "Stand By Me" is probably one of my. I want to say it's one of my favorite.
I love
songs.
that song.
That's a good song.
It's a song that, like, whenever
Soulful.
it comes on, whenever it comes on, I have to listen. Moving on to further news: Justin Bieber joining the cast of Zoolander 2.
Oh boy.
I don't know why.
Is he going to be like Owen Wilson's type thing from the first one?
Justin Bieber is joining Ben Stiller's Zoolander in an unspecified role, according to a posting that Bieber made on his Twitter account. Oh, he tweeted about this? He might be lying.
This is what we could have talked about during the fight. Like, that's because it's actually pop culture type. But Bieber walked out. Well, obviously, Bieber's like best friends with Mayweather.
Yeah.
But the news was that Kimmel walked out with Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
And he purposely trolled Bieber, essentially.
Because he was wearing the hat.
He wearing a hat, and he was wearing a shirt that Bieber wore.
He had wasn't it a Pac-Man shirt?
Yeah, Bieber wore that shirt earlier in the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the exact shirt. So he did his best to look exactly like Justin Bieber, and it was pretty fun.
Bieber will be joining a cast that includes Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Billy Zane, Will Ferrell, and Penelope Cruz.
Billy Zane's going to be in it again.
Which is awesome. Zoolander 2 opens on February 16th, 2016. Moving on, Michael Fassbender says Assassin's Creed will begin shooting in September.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. The road to the big screen has been a long one for Assassin's Creed, but with a release date in sight, the video game adaptation is finally set to begin production this fall. Speaking with Coming Soon, star and producer Michael Fassbender said that the movie will start shooting in September. The film is currently set for a December 21st, 2016 release after some delays.
Talking about guys I'm a fan of. Michael Fassbender is on that list.
And I might be being naive, but how many video game movies are there?
A lot.
It feels like, is there a lot?
Yeah.
I feel like it,
I'm
yeah.
just not thinking
They're
about
not
it and not
all-
realizing it.
Yeah, they're not all good or popular.
Fair enough.
Like Need for Speed,
Oh, that's true.
Aaron
Yeah.
Paul.
That wasn't good or popular.
And they're making a second one.
Are they really?
It was in my weekly update probably about a month ago.
What about Super Mario Bros? John Leguizamo. Bob Hoskins.
That's pretty
It's true.
The Tomb Raider was the only one that I thought of, but I guess there's more than I thought there was.
Yeah, there's been a
Resident
bunch.
Evil, there's a bunch of those.
That's true.
Yeah, Resident Evil. And finally, in the next level news, Barack Obama is coming to David Letterman one last time. David Letterman's final run of shows will have a presidential seal of approval. CBS announced on Friday that President Barack Obama will appear on the May 4th edition of The Late Show with David Letterman.
Star Wars Day.
And that's tomorrow night. Well,
Or tonight.
or tonight,
depending when
depending
you're
on,
listening to
or
it,
last night, depending on when you're listening to the podcast.
which is also the finale of Gotham.
It's true.
Season finale.
It's true. The visit will mark Obama's third time on The Late Show as President of the United States and eighth time overall. Joining Obama on the May 4th broadcast will be actor Will Ferrell and musical guests the Avett Brothers and Brandy Carlile.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Letterman's final show is set for May 20th.
Did that say that Obama's been on Letterman 5 times not as president?
3 times.
No,
Five.
eighth time overall. So 3
5
times
as president.
No,
Oh.
3 as president, 5 as not.
Oh.
Was he that popular as
I got
a
it flipped.
Chicago politician?
It was probably during his run
Oh yeah, maybe
for
that's
presidency,
true, yeah.
they had him on.
Yeah.
Because you'll see a lot of those guys show up on talk shows more when they're running
Mitt-
for president than
Mitt
when
was
they're
on
not.
like all of them.
So, but that's going to wrap it up for Next Level News. So we all had an opportunity to see a movie this past weekend.
Different movies, apparently.
Well, you went and saw Paul Blart.
Yes. Steve saw Sex Tape.
Sex tape. Yeah.
Still not sure which one.
So, but the movie that we are obviously talking about is Avengers: Age of Ultron. So, we're going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible, and we'll go into more detail as far as storyline and stuff next week with our special guest host. And that'll give more people time to see it, those who weren't able to get out this opening weekend to see
But
it.
we'll warn you when we're going to spoil something next week.
Yes, absolutely. I guess the big question is, what did we think?
Who wants to start?
Who wants to start it?
I thought it was better than the first one. I liked the.
So did I.
Yeah, I thought the comedy parts were better. Yeah.
Especially the
Language.
first like half of the movie, the comedy was nonstop. I mean,
Right.
it hit, and James Spader as Ultron had a lot more, comedic parts to it than I thought. And I guess they must like that comedic bad guy, because they had Loki,
Yeah.
who had some comedy with him too. But I agree.
Yeah, and I thought the action was on par, which is good because the action in the first one was really good, obviously. So
Yeah,
I thought the action was comparable.
it started right off the bat too.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as the action goes, I actually thought that the action was better in the second one. I thought the movie starts right on, like you said, the moment the movie opens, it opens in an action sequence. I thought the opening action sequence was bigger than any action sequence from the first movie. And
How did it look in 3D, by the way?
It looked awesome.
Okay.
Like I actually forgot at times I was watching the 3D movie.
Because I'm not a huge 3D person.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
But I thought that the action sequence in the beginning of the movie was nothing compared to the action sequence at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought the whole fight scene in the city, again, without ruining anything, was fantastic. There's one scene in particular and it doesn't give anything away, but the fight scene slows down and the camera just is going in and out of the fight scene and you're seeing a little bit of what everybody is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought that was an amazing sequence.
That was really cool.
I don't know if I call it better than the first one yet. I think I need to see it again in order to kind of judge. They're on the same level as of right now. I don't think I'm not going to say it's worse because it certainly wasn't worse.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, but I think I agree with Steve. I think it is probably better than the first one. I'll watch it again just to confirm, but I do think it's better than the first one. And I do want to see it like Steve and I saw it in just a standard theater. I do want to see it in IMAX 3D to get that.
Or just IMAX.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Does it not have to be 3D?
No,
in
it could be
IMAX?
just IMAX.
Oh, if that's the case, I'd much rather that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you guys would agree with me on this. The same way, and again, trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, the same way the ending of Captain America Winter Soldier kind of changes the landscape of the Marvel Universe, the ending of this movie does the same exact thing.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
The landscape is completely changed by the end of this movie. For future movies, not just Avenger movies, but future movies. I think there's a nice tie-in to Civil War. There's a nice little seed planted for what could become Civil War. And obviously
with the new thing at the end.
with the way it ends.
Okay.
Yeah. But the mid-credit scene, I think, is what you're referring to. That's obviously set up more towards.
That's towards
Infinity.
Avengers 3, yeah. Infinity Wars, which
yeah.
will be 2 parts.
Yes. So, but no, there's a scene in the middle. I think it's towards the middle of the movie. That's kind of a seed planted for Civil War. There's a scene, and it's been leaked, so it's not really spoiling anything. But there's a scene with Tony Stark and Steve Rogers chopping wood,
Oh, yeah.
and that's kind of a little seed being planted for Civil War. Who do we think was the standout?
Well, and they've always butted heads too, by the way.
Yeah.
Even in the first one.
Yeah. Who do we think was the standout character of this movie? See if we're in agreement with this one. Because I know who immediately stands out to me.
I mean, for me, a lot of it was all about Iron Man. Like, a lot of it revolved around Tony Stark.
I thought there was I thought Hawkeye had a strong story.
Yeah.
Like I thought, as for one who isn't considered
That's
a
true.
top Avenger, I thought he had a strong story.
Yeah,
And,
I forgot.
like they kept going back to it.
Forgot about that. They gave him a nice little backstory, delved into his, personal life a little bit.
Yeah.
And kind of centered around him a lot, especially him and Quicksilver with their little quips back and forth. which were really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll never know.
That was hilarious.
And I agree with that completely. I think Hawkeye, I like the fact that they focus more on Hawkeye because he didn't really get a big focus in the first Avengers movie.
It wasn't, but it was almost like his origin movie in the sense where you got to see some things.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the first Avengers movie and one scene in the first Thor movie, you haven't seen Hawkeye in anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Black Widow's appeared several times,
right,
including the Iron Man movies. I know she was in the second one. I don't remember if she was in the third one, but she's appeared outside of Avengers, whereas Hawkeye really just had Avengers and like one scene in Thor, and that was it.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. So, rating scale 1 to 10. What do we give it?
It's hard for me to go 10 because I hate giving movies a 10 because that means like there's not going to be a movie better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go 9.75.
It's pretty good.
Ultrons, I guess.
Ultrons.
Is that what we're doing?
8.5 Ultrons for me. I mean, you get exactly what you go in looking for. Like, you're not looking for a drama movie where you're leaving the theater and you're thinking about it and all, but you're looking for action and entertainment, and it does exactly that. So 8.5, which is a high ranking.
Yeah, I give it a 9. I give it a solid 9. Like you said, it's hard to give a movie a 10, even though I've done it a couple times.
Yeah, I will say this. I mean, it started off really, really strong, and it still finished strong, but I think it actually started off stronger than it finished for me a little bit, which doesn't take away anything from it because it still was a great finish. You know what I mean? Just going by finishes in general, but I actually think it started off stronger than it had finished.
Yep, I agree.
I can see that. I still think it started. Still think it ended strong.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. But I also had heard that we might not have seen the last of Ultron. He might actually appear later on down the line.
Where'd you hear that?
Sources.
Yeah.
I just heard that in the comics he appears multiple times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will say that another character that stood out to me, other than Iron Man and Hawkeye, was Vision.
Yes.
Paul Bettany was phenomenal.
Yeah.
As that character.
I think it's cool that they use, because Paul Bettany is Jarvis's voice.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that they gave him an actual acting part as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be the last we see of him either.
No, I think he actually is going to end up being in Infinity Wars. He has to be.
Well, if you consider
one main reason.
If you consider what helped create him, and I won't go any further than that. Yeah, absolutely, he has to be a part of Infinity Wars. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I just got this email, so I figured to bring it up. Avengers: Age of Ultron did major sports events hurt the box office? So the box office obviously probably could have been a little bit better, and they're saying not just because of the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fight, but they're also saying. The Kentucky Derby, New York Yankees edging out the Boston Red Sox, the New York Rangers defeating the Washington Capitals, the San Antonio Spurs, the Clippers knocking out the Spurs. So there was a lot of sports on yesterday.
Yeah, I think the Derby and the fight were the two main ones that took away from the box office.
And it was all day.
Yeah.
I mean, there was sports on all day yesterday.
Yep.
So I definitely can see how that definitely would have hurt the box office.
Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if Avengers next week at the box office still makes close to $100 million, if not more.
Well, because people didn't get to see it this weekend because of that.
Yeah, they'll go next weekend. And next weekend is Mother's Day, I believe.
Yes, it is.
It's a great movie to take your mom to.
Sure, yeah.
I have bigger plans than taking my mom to a movie.
Yeah, you'll be at Comic-Con.
Well, no, I'm actually taking... See, one of the main reasons you guys weren't going to go to Comic-Con on Sunday was because of Mother's Day. My mom knows me, so my mom knows I'd rather go to Comic-Con than celebrate Mother's Day.
I was just going to go on Saturday.
That doesn't mean I'm not doing anything for my mom for Mother's Day. I'm actually taking my mom ziplining over Elmwood Park Zoo.
Oh, that's cool.
In Norristown.
I didn't know they did that.
So you actually go ziplining and tree swinging above the zoo, so you can actually look down and see the animals.
That's pretty cool.
And then you get zoo park admission
cool.
afterwards too. So my mom was all for that, which is awesome. So I'm still celebrating Mother's Day, just not on Mother's Day.
Glad you cleared that up.
Yeah. Well, because you make it seem like I'd be a douchebag because I didn't spend time with my mom on Mother's Day.
I never said that. So you're the one who brought up Mother's Day. I just said you're going to be at Comic-Con next week.
Instead, I'm going to be on a panel at Comic-Con on Sunday.
Which is awesome.
And then hanging out with Steve and Amel Sunday night.
Which is also awesome.
Which is also
That's pretty cool.
The panel thing is pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I got I guess we could talk about this a little bit because I think we're done with Ultron for right now.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't know what else to talk about without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. We'll get into that next week with our special guest co-host.
We'll say who it is at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm going to be. Unfortunately, Wizard World didn't set us all up with press access, which kind of sucks. But me being living the closest to the city, I guess it just made more sense for me.
I don't have my Arnold clips, otherwise I would play you son of a bitch. But
So I'm going to be covering the panels and Comic-Con this coming weekend. Well, it'll be this coming weekend when you're listening to the podcast. So, and I got invited to be on 2 panels, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm going to be on a panel on Saturday at 1 o'clock, I think it is. 4:30. 4:30 is the panel on Saturday.
it's really close to 1 o'clock.
It is. I got a little confused.
Pacific time.
And it's actually a Star Wars fan panel, which I think is going to be pretty cool. And
No, Steve, you've seen that. Never mind. I was thinking Star Trek. It was
Yeah.
like a Star Trek fan panel. Steve's on it.
Yeah, I'm also.
And then on Sunday, I'm going to be on another panel at 1 o'clock, which is a Geek Wars. It's kind of like a game show trivia/discussion panel.
That's cool.
And that's at 1 o'clock.
I love trivia, even if I don't know the subject.
Oh,
I just love playing.
Well, that's how you and I met. Met.
Miet.
That's how,
Meow.
Russian.
Meow, what is so funny?
But you and I met doing when I used to host trivia.
Yes.
You used to come out.
Quizzo.
Yep.
Steve went too.
I've been there.
You were there, but I don't know if I don't know. I don't remember.
I think you met him through us, who met you through Quizzo.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Associative property and all that.
All right, we should take another break.
Yeah, I think we'd have. We'll talk to Drew.
Yep.
Take a break. We'll talk to Drew, and we'll come back and we'll talk some more stuff, cover songs.
We'll do the cover songs
and weekly update.
Yep. So, all right, we'll be back right after this.
Hey, I'm Chris Parnell from Archer, and you're listening to the Showcast on Next Level Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Showcast. It is time we move on to our interview for the week. Now, I know I said last week that there was a chance we wouldn't have anybody this week. However, this gentleman was awesome enough to come on and spend some time with us. He's guest starred in a ton of different shows. He's had some reoccurring roles on shows such as Ponderosa, The Mentalist. He's even been in some great films like 1408 and the 2011 remake of the movie Straw Dogs. But now you can see him every week on the hit Fox show Gotham. Please welcome Mr. Drew Powell. Drew, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Pleasure to be here.
No problem. Glad to have you on. Are you calling from LA right now? Are you calling from East Coast, West Coast?
That's right. I'm calling from LA. We shoot the show in New York, but I'm still based out of LA. So I know the United flight attendants by name after the season. My frequent flyer miles have been shot right through the roof. But yeah, I'm sitting here sweating as usual here in Southern California.
That's a long flight, New York to LA.
It sure is. Yeah, it sure is. I catch up on a lot of movies and TV shows that way. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's
I just flew back from Florida last week, and that's like 2 hours. And at that point, I'm ready to get off. I can't imagine what's it like 5 or 6 hours.
I know, man. I know. And I used to do connect because I like to fly out of the smaller airport, Burbank, but truthfully, I discovered that it's better just to bite the bullet, get on a plane, do what you got to do for 4 hours, 5 hours, and then get off and not have to mess around in the middle. So I've got it down to a science now, but it's worth it for this show, man. And look, let's be honest. If you're doing a show called Gotham, you got to shoot it in New York.
Yeah, I would agree with that. How many times during the course of the season do you make that trip?
I did. I think something like 14 or 15 out of the 22 episodes. So it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But, look, when I worked on The Mentalist, I did several episodes of The Mentalist. I was part of the Red John storyline. And, that's where I kind of met and fell in love with Bruno Heller. I mean, the guy is, him from all, Gotham and Mentalist, but also like Rome. And the dude is just as smart as they come and just a lot of, really great to work for. And And when we were talking about Gotham, and when I was lucky enough to kind of to land this role, he told me, he said, look, Butch is a character that's people are gonna underestimate this character till it's too late. And he's going to be a slow burn character, but hang in there, and I think you'll be real pleased with how this character pays off. And he's absolutely right. It's been so much fun to play this guy, and especially leading up to the season finale, which is next Monday. It's going to be, it's my favorite episode of the season. It's definitely a big payoff for my character, and it's been fun to kind of follow that arc. So makes those plane rides, go by real quick when you're loving your job.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, yeah, Gotham definitely isn't like a standard. It's definitely not your standard Batman show. It's definitely different. It's the history of all these characters, it's the side of these characters you've never really heard of before. Growing up, and even now in childhood, especially now that we know you're making all these plane flights, were you a fan of the Batman comics, or even any other comics for that matter?
Yeah, I was more a fan of like watching cartoons and stuff. I didn't necessarily have many comics myself, like actual comic books. But I certainly, I remember watching the campy TV show, which was, wonderful for a 7-year-old kid to watch Batman and Robin walking around with a big bomb with a huge light. I can't throw it there. There's a bunch of nuns. Oh, I can't throw it there. There's a bunch of kids playing in the, which feels like a totally different animal, by the way, to everything that's come since then with the Batman saga. But then, of course, I was of the era of Michael Keaton, that first Tim Burton Batman and the movies, and then kind of so that was what my connection to Batman really. Although, I mean, come on, as a kid, growing up in rural Indiana, all the superheroes were at one point or another. We all played those superheroes. So, being in the Batman world it's been so much fun. And I think you're right. It's a unique look at the Batman world. And what I've told people is, here's the thing. Superheroes are too big for television. I mean, think about it. I mean, you're going to have, like, the Batman. So even if it was, like, HBO or Showtime, it's too small. It can't contain the breadth of what it is to be a superhero. In my opinion, maybe somebody will figure out how to get it done. But what in my humble opinion is so good about Gotham is it takes on the world around that superhero, and Batman is the perfect one for that because Batman's still a man.
Yeah.
Even though Gotham is a unique world, he doesn't have X-ray vision, and he can't leap tall buildings in a single bound. I mean, he needs a gadget to do that. So to me, this is a great way to access it, because I've always been fascinated with the idea of Gotham City, right? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. There's something mysterious and cool about that. And so to dive into that world, there's so many times this season where I've been like, oh man, this feels like Gotham. I want to appear in Brooklyn, and I'm in front of this, my beautiful old 78 Lincoln Continental, and there's, these girls are fighting in front of me in a warehouse, and it's like, this feels like I jumped into a comic book, and you don't get too many opportunities for that kind of fun, even in this great profession, that I'm in. So I've really enjoyed every second of it. This year. It's
funny too when you mentioned the old Adam West and Burt Ward Batman television shows. You mentioned one particular scene with the bomb over his head. Where he goes to one side of the dock and there's the ducks and then there's Boy Scouts, and it makes me laugh because the one line in that scene is, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. And we quote that all the time at my day job, and I absolutely love it. So
and it's true on so many levels. I think that's from the movie, isn't it? The movie that they did.
Yeah, that's from the Batman the movie.
Yeah, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I love that. I may have to start using that too. I might have to steal that.
If you can somehow find a way to work it into Gotham, we'll know.
That in there.
We'll know that we'll somehow have made an impression on you when you got it done.
That's awesome. right, that's gonna be my mission for season 2.
Awesome.
Yeah, and obviously with the show, I mean, there's the main characters from the comics that everybody knows, but like Jada Pinkett Smith's character Fish, your character was created just for this show, Gotham. When you found that out, were you excited about that part of it, that you kind of got to, put a new character into this classic, comic book, or were you disappointed that you didn't get to play one of the classic characters?
That's a good question. It's mostly excited. I mean, look, as I said to somebody else today, I mean, there is a part of me that's, if you're the Penguin or the Riddler, there's a certain amount of job security. Even though Bruno says nobody's safe, I mean, you got to believe that if he kills the Penguin, there's going to be rioting in the streets among Batman fans. So there is some definite job security, which every actor covets. However, I mean, mostly it's great because you do get to, I get to create this guy. And so, God willing, and I'm knocking on as much wood as I can find here, if Butch gets to stick around for a while and leaves an impression, that's something that I got to help create with Bruno and the writers and Danny Cannon and all the guys that make the show work. And that is, you don't get to do that very often either. And it's been really fun to work with Jada. She and I have great chemistry on screen and off. We just enjoy being around each other, which is funny because you couldn't get two more opposite people in a lot of ways. But it's been fun for us to kind of create our own world, because so much of the first half of the season was the two of us, in that bar, doing crazy stuff and plotting schemes, and me going off to do our dirty work, and that's been a lot of fun. So it's been fun and it's been really gratifying that the fans have embraced it, because I know it can be tough. Bringing in a new character when you're so used to the old ones. But I think people have been really gracious in letting us kind of into the world, if you will.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you're a little old to play Bruce Wayne, so I mean, you kind of...
That's right, exactly. That's right. Hey, I know, exactly. I'll take what I can get, man.
Yeah. I mean, you look back at your career, you've done a lot of guest roles in your career. But it seems like you had a little bit of luck in the beginning of your career, in that one of your very first roles was actually a reoccurring role, and that was on Malcolm in the Middle. You did, I think, like 11 episodes of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people, when they're just getting started, they get those guest roles, and that's pretty much all they get for a while. But you were pretty lucky to get that, like a reoccurring role for a while in one of your first roles.
That's right, I was, and that's the show that got me my SAG card. That was my first real gig. And the story of how I got that is kind of funny. It was one of my early auditions. I'd had a few auditions, and maybe I might have done a commercial before that, but I actually think I think this was the first one, because this is what got me in the union. So the role was, I was tough cadet number 2, and I was supposed to say Commandant on the floor 10 Hut. So I'm looking down the hall, and then I salute as the Commandant comes through, and all Linwood Boomer, the creator, and all the director Todd Holland and all the writers were there. It's, tiny room. There's felt like there was 100 people in there. And so, I'm a little nervous, and I get ready, and I'm ready to go, and I look down the hallway, and I say, "Coming on the floor, 10 Hut," and I salute. But as I salute, I hit myself in the eye really hard. And I go, "Ah, son of a..." And I luckily stopped myself before I swore. But it was, there was a dude that was sitting, because there were so many people in there, he was sitting on the arm of the couch, and he fell off the couch because he was laughing so hard. They absolutely just pissed themselves laughing, and I'm convinced that's why I got that job, because I poked myself in the eye. So, all that training, all that work, all that strike, really, it was just a dumb luck. But yeah, that was a awesome way to start my career. And then I was lucky enough, because I did that, which was basically a season and a half, and then went right into my first leading role as Hoss Cartwright in a remake of Bonanza. So I mean, I got lucky off the bat for sure. And
yeah.
That took me to Australia. I was playing a cowboy in Australia, in the mountains of Australia, and I met my wife on that show. I mean, it was all in all, I can say I've lived a very charmed life in that regard. So yeah, it was a fun way to start.
Yeah, I know another credit when I was looking through your list of credits. Another thing that you did, and it took me a second because I didn't realize that was you until and then I looked at some more pictures, and I absolutely it clicked that I remembered it. You were part of the revival of the Pee Wee Herman show on Broadway.
Right.
I mean, I was a huge fan. I'm 35, so I was a fan of Pee Wee Herman growing up, and I remember it. Yeah, I remember it originally from the show Out of the Groundlings that he did on HBO before it even became a TV series. And
oh wow,
and things like that. So I've been a fan for a long time. So I was very, very excited when I found out there was a revival, that he was bringing it back, and especially to Broadway. I'm wondering what it was like to work with somebody like as legendary as, I call him a legend just because that character has been around forever and everybody knows that character. But you played the character of Bear, and you also did the voice of Mr. Window. What was it like working with a legendary, character like Pee Wee Herman and Paul?
Yeah, it was, I think the best word for it is surreal. Because there were a lot of moments I'm like, is this really happening? I mean, not only because of the, as you say, the legendary character, but also it's just so bizarre. I mean, it's just a bizarre world. Like you said, I was, and I was a mute dancing bear for 95% of the show. And then at the end, I take my head off, which was always my favorite part of the show because, inevitably we're towards the end of the show and people are, and then I come dancing out and I take my head off and the gasps that would go through the audience, were always my favorite part. But it was great. I did, like I said, the voice of Mr. Window. I did Randy. I did the flowers. Like, it was, that was a blast. But it was also, it was an experience like none other. Like, I'll never be able to replicate that experience. It was my Broadway debut. It was my first time living in New York, and every night I would go put on a bear suit and look at Pee Wee Herman through the big freaking nose, which is what I used to look out of. I mean, what the heck, man? Who does that? And the other thing was, the people that came to see that show, because it was, I don't know if you remember, but it was, the hottest show going. We only did it for a 3-month run, so if you wanted to see it, you had to go quick. I mean, we did it for a month and a half or two in L.A., but, the people that you would say, like, Prince came to a show, and Paul Simon, and Don Lasseter, and even Sondheim. The place was named after him, for crying out loud. One night, David Bowie and Iman came, and we're in the dressing room afterwards, and we're staring at them the way that their little kids are staring at us. It was just kind of bizarre experience. So, yeah, man, I'm glad I did it. It was a trip. No doubt. Yeah, I think even during the HBO special that had aired, I think like you could see like Kevin Kline in the audience and some other people. Daniel Radcliffe was there that night.
Oh, really? Okay.
He came back afterwards and we had a great conversation.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
It was really fun. And, it's funny. I was just talking to a buddy of mine, Joe Manganiello, who you probably know from like True Blood and the Magic Mike and stuff like that. And right now he's shooting Pee Wee's movie.
Oh, okay.
He's doing the Netflix one, right?
He's doing the Netflix movie. And it was funny because there's not many people that can identify with the experience of working with Pee Wee Herman. And we were able to actually, swap stories and like, oh, really? What's it like for you? He said, and it's really true. It's like I'm somehow reliving my childhood 20 years later. 30 years later. Yeah, and it's true. It's definitely true.
Yeah, it's definitely not a conversation a lot of people can have.
That's right. Yeah, right.
And obviously, Pee Wee Herman's quite a different mood than Gotham is. So, we see from your background, you not only can you do drama, you can also do some comedy. And I noticed you also do a web series called Man Jam, which is like a little short web series that you do. Tell us a little bit about that, because I actually was able to check some of it out. It's really funny.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man. That's look, in this business, you do jobs for money and you do jobs for fun, and this was pure fun. When I did the Ponderosa, the guy that played my brother was this guy, Matt Carmody, and he's, he and another guy named Boyd FICO, who's a great writer, one of Global Kale's top writers, and came up with this idea. Really, it was born out of literally us. We had a bunch of friends that would play in a band. My buddy has a man cave. He lives kind of down in, like, close to South Central LA, and we go down there and we play all night. And, it was like these 30, 40-something guys getting together and playing. And it's like, at some point someone said, there's a show in this. And so Matt wrote it, and it's really funny. It's about, the first season is about 6 episodes, 3-4-minute episodes each. And it was so much fun to do. We just had a blast, and we're writing some new ones now for another season. But you can check it out at manjamtheseries.com, and it's really worth watching. It was It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Especially because it was so close to real life. all the guys that are in the show are in the band, so it was like we had these weird moments. It was like, wait, did that happen in the series or in real life? Because it all seemed to blend together. And I think a lot of guys, you guys could probably identify with it on a certain level. You know, it's what happens when guys, you know, once guys stop, you know, going to clubs every night and start trying to find other ways to, you know, have fun. And there's a particular scene where the drummer, Vincent, his baby mama, as he calls it, comes in and throws a dirty diaper at him. She's played by Matt's wife, Sandra, who's really Jamaican. She's Vincent, your baby cracked the nappy again. As he's sitting behind the drums. And it's like, yeah, that's the life of a middle-aged man right there.
Yeah, I'm living that life right now. I have a 4.5 month.
There you go.
So.
Attaboy.
I know all too well. No, yeah, and I mean, I watched all 6, and it only took me like a half hour. So I mean, it's an easy watch, and it's definitely hilarious. And I mean, do you enjoy doing comedy more than drama, or about the same, or is, you know, I mean, obviously, if you're doing comedy just for fun, I would feel like it's something that you probably enjoy the most.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough question. I really thought when I came to town that would be my bread and butter, would be comedy. You know, big, loud guy that, you know, likes to have fun and smile a lot. That's what I thought would be my thing. And I've gotten to do some great comedy stuff. But especially lately, I've done a lot of drama. And I've been asked this question before, and I think it's a very valid question. It's hard to come up with an answer. There are ways in which comedy is satisfying. You get a reaction. You know, people think that something's funny and it's happy. You know, I with Gotham, it's satisfying in a totally different way. You know, and I still get, you know, my aunts calling up and saying, "Well, when are you going to play a nice guy? We really don't like these mean guys." You know, and I'm like, I know, it's okay. You don't have to watch, but I've grown to love that as well. You know, I've grown to, Gotham is you know, one of the most fun jobs I've ever had. So there's a real love for that particular, and that's a step above. I mean, that's a totally different, it's almost its own category, you know, the whole comic book world / you know, smart TV, you know, show. But there's definitely pluses and minuses to both, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we're going to let you get going in a couple minutes here, but one more thing I just wanted to mention while we had you. I heard you're a record holder since birth. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know if it still stands, but as the folklore tells it, when I was born in Noblesville, Indiana, I set the record. I was like 11 pounds when I was born, and like 24 inches, and yeah, they called me Baby Whale.
Was that a C-section or a natural?
Yeah, I don't know that there's a woman in the world that could give birth to a natural 11-pound baby. There probably is somewhere. God bless her. Yeah, either way.
I was just going to say, God bless her.
Either way, I give my mom love as much as I can, because that's a heck of a way to go to the world.
Yeah, I mean, I can almost relate. I didn't set any records, but I was 10 pounds, 2 ounces, and to my knowledge, I think I was natural. I think. I'm not sure.
That's impressive, man.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now that I know what that really means. You know, you see the things in health class, but when you're in the moment and you're seeing what's going down, you know, the idea of, you know, my little boy was like 8 pounds. So I'm trying to, like, in my head, imagine,
an extra 3 pounds coming out.
3.5 pounds coming out, and I'm like, holy mackerel.
That's another half a baby at that point.
That's right. I know. You'd be pretty happy with that as a turkey. On Thanksgiving. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you know, and you're born in Central Indiana. That means, you know, the first thing they said was, well, is he going to play basketball or football? You know, that's all that anybody cared about. But that's the best thing about being an actor, is I get to do it all. So, yeah, it's a blessing.
Well, we're going to get ready to let you go. However, we just want to tell everybody, obviously remind everybody, the finale of Gotham airs this coming Monday, May 4th, 8 o'clock on Fox. So definitely we want everybody to check it out. And if they're not watching, they should be watching at this point, and should just spend the weekend catching up on the show, just because it's that good of a show. So,
Excellent. I couldn't agree more, boys. And the finale is awesome. It's awesome. I'm biased, but trust me, it's awesome. It's action-packed. It's so fun.
yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. I mean, you work with an incredible cast, too. I mean, you got Ben McKenzie and Robin Lord Taylor and
Donald Logue.
Yeah, I mean, there's such a great cast in this show.
Incredible.
You know,
Incredible. And everybody is genuinely, they're genuinely good people. Like, you know, we get together, we raise a glass, and everybody just, you know, it's a decent, kind, good group of people. And I think anybody in any job, that's all you could really hope for.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to send people your way to follow you on Twitter as well, which you're at the Drew Powell. You also mentioned
not any Drew Powell,
the Drew Powell. That's right. The only Drew Powell you should be following is the Drew Powell on Twitter. Check out your Man Jam, manjamtheseries.com, which you had mentioned earlier. So we want to send people there as well, and of course to watch Gotham. Drew, thanks a lot. This has been great.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, man. Look forward to the next time.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we are going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more of the Showcast. Stay tuned.
Hey there, this is Jimmy Simpson, star of Half the Content on Netflix, and you are listening to Next Level Radio.
What don't you f***ing understand?
Special thanks to Drew Powell for joining us.
You see the connection?
Really?
Why I played that clip?
He worked with...
Christian Bale was Batman. Gotham's about Batman.
I get it.
When you have to explain your joke, it's not a good joke.
Maybe I just need to hang out with smarter people.
Fair enough.
I think you should have found the clip of sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
I tweeted that to him, too, by the way.
Yeah, he tweeted back.
He tweeted back. That was awesome. So, still undecided if I'm going to go out to that convention. Yeah, we talked about that off air. Yeah. He's going to be at the Atlantic City Boardwalk Con in 2 weeks. His first con ever and Atlantic City's first con. So, but he said if we came out to come and find him and chill with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I might go out. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So, but that was cool. That was a cool interview.
Yeah, make sure you watch the finale.
Of Gotham Monday night, which
or tonight
when you're listening to this would probably be tonight.
Or if it already aired on
demand.
On demand.
So we've been talking about this amongst ourselves. It's a topic we've wanted to do for a while, but it's kind of difficult when we're not in the same room because we all have to find a way to play sound clips over Skype and everything else. But now, since we're in the same studio, it kind of works out that we can do this. But we've always discussed like cover songs and what some of our favorite cover songs are. So we decided to get together our top 5, and I know Adam and I have a couple extra ones as like
honorable
mentions and stuff like that. And we can discuss some of our ones that we think are the worst ones. Adam, I know one of the ones that's on your list.
One of the worst ones?
One of the worst ones, yeah.
Cake?
Which I don't understand, because Steve and I talked about this before. I don't think it's that bad.
I think it's got a sweet guitar solo.
It grows on me. It does have a really good guitar solo. You have that. Yeah. The first time I heard it, I hated it. And then the radio kept playing, so I kept hearing it, and it grew on me a little bit, but I still change the station if it's on.
If you hear it. So this was rather difficult for me to come up with top 5.
By the way, it's I Will Survive is the Cake cover we're talking about.
Yes. Yep. This was difficult for me to narrow it down to just 5.
It was difficult for me to find 5.
There was one that I was pretty sure was going to be on all of our lists, and we agreed that it was going to be on our list. So we didn't include it in our top 5. But it would be this one here, which I think, to me, is probably one of the best cover songs ever done.
That's why we weren't allowed to use it.
That's why we weren't allowed to use it.
Because it probably would have been number 1 on all our lists.
Yeah, which is Hurt by Johnny Cash, originally done by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, for me, like a good cover song is one that is better than the original, and this is by far better than the original.
Absolutely better than the original.
Yeah.
Or one where you go, oh, I didn't know that was a cover because that's the only song that you've ever heard.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, and I think I was that way with this one too. I didn't know it was a Nine Inch Nails song until I actually looked into it.
I thought it was Nine Inch Nails second. I thought it was Johnny Cash first.
I think that's what I found out too.
Andrea hates that song, by the way.
Really? It's really depressing. Like it's a terrible song, lyric-wise.
He just sings it so well.
Somebody karaoke'd that song, and as soon as he started singing it, everybody in the bar went, "Oh."
Not a good karaoke.
Sir, why are you singing this song?
Not a good karaoke.
Do you need
choice.
therapy? So we haven't revealed to each other what our top 5 are. And so I guess I'll start it first since I have my iPod plugged in. You're probably going to hear a little shuffling as we unplug from one iPod into another phone and stuff. So
Yeah, it's all right.
yeah, it's fine. But I guess I'll start with some of mine. I'll play a little bit of mine.
Do we have to guess them?
If you can figure out some of the bands you might not
I
get.
just like making everything into a game.
I hope he doesn't pick a song I haven't heard. We're picking the best cover songs.
You might not know some of the bands, but I guarantee you've probably heard every song.
Celine Dion?
But I'll go backwards. This is
My Heart Will Go On a cover.
none of them were Celine Dion.
Did somebody do a cover of that?
I think it's like a Penny Whistle cover.
They should do a cover
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
But this is, I'll go backwards, number 5.
You were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
And I can't even remember who did this originally.
Don't You Want Me Baby?
It's Don't You Want Me Baby.
It wasn't Don Henley, was it?
No, it was an 80s band. I can't remember who it was.
Who's this?
This is a band called Atomic Tom.
The Human League did.
That's it. This is actually, I heard this the first time. It's in the movie. Oh, God.
Atomic Tom's good. Their song Take Me Out's really good.
As in the Franz Ferdinand song?
No.
That's what I was thinking.
No.
I actually heard this. It's on the soundtrack of a movie that Topher Grace did, an 80s movie. It's not an 80s movie, it's a movie that takes place in the 80s.
I'm confused.
Sorry. But
This version is?
I do like this cover. Yeah, it's on the soundtrack. So, but moving on, this is my number 4. I know you'll know this song. But I love this version. And you might recognize
Dave
the
Matthews?
singer. No, it's not Dave Matthews. I didn't put any Dave Matthews in my top.
That's a good idea.
I could have went with All Along the Watchtower.
You'd be really missing a better cover.
I know. This will get to this in a second.
Here come on flat top, he come grooving up slowly.
Come Together,
Come
Beatles
Together.
cover. Who sings this one?
This is Joe Cocker.
Okay.
Off another movie soundtrack, actually. It's from Across the Universe, which has a lot of great Beatles covers on it.
Yeah.
Cocker has the ability to be on someone else. I don't know. He might be on your list. He's not on mine, but he has another cover.
Isn't the song from Wonder Years?
Yeah, the Wonder Years.
For my friends.
Yeah, that's a cover.
That's a cover, yeah.
That's a great cover.
Not on my list, but that is a good cover.
Well, it's not on anybody's list, but it's a great cover.
Not top 5, though.
All right, number 3, there's been a number of different covers of this song. I just love this version.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know who this is?
This version? This is Smashing Pumpkins?
Smashing Pumpkins, yep. And I love this cover.
Landslide's just a good song in general.
Hate it. Hate Fleetwood Mac. Hate the Smashing Pumpkins. Hate this song.
I'm not a huge Smashing Pumpkins person, but I like Fleetwood Mac.
So this would not be on your list?
Nope, sure wouldn't.
All right, we'll move on. Number 2, Adam, you might recognize. Steve, you might recognize
Steve's
this too.
worst cover list.
I used to play this song a lot when I did trivia at Applebee's, but I like this cover as well. Let's see if you get to it once it gets to the main hook. I don't know if you'll know the band, but you'll definitely know the song.
The original's by Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, yep.
Trying to figure out who this is, though.
I don't have any idea.
It's a rock band.
I've heard the song before, though.
No? Is it a rock band?
It is a rock band. Yeah.
All right, that narrows it down to about 3,000.
Well done.
This is a band called Non-Point.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
No. But I've heard the song before.
Yeah, like I said, I used to play it a lot when
that
I did
version?
trivia.
Or
yeah.
Okay.
So, and my number 1, this is actually a more recent favorite of mine that the moment I heard it just flew to the top of the list.
Poker Face?
Yeah.
Is that a cover?
I think someone did a cover of it, yeah.
It's Get Lucky by Hailstorm. Covering Daft Punk, which is a real cover, by the way.
Yeah. You know, oh no, it's not a cover. Never mind. I was thinking of a mashup with, what's that one Imagine Dragons did with, crap. Who's the rapper at the Grammys they did that mashup with?
I don't know.
Okay.
Feel free to
Lamar
look it up.
I think it was Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. See, it could have been it could have been something like this, which is not it.
This is number one?
No.
This
This is the Weezer cover of You Might Think by the Cars. I got a bunch of other ones. No, but
You didn't even let it get to where Weezer was singing. For all I know, that was the original.
I'll get into
first.
it. You got it now?
That's a good cover.
This is a good cover.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Another soundtrack cover. It's off Cars 2.
Okay. Never saw Cars 2, but
Really? You and your wife were like Disney freaks?
hey, what can I say?
Like shocked. No, my number one, I was a huge fan of the original song, but I heard this cover and I fell in love with it. You'll get the artist right away.
Reba McEntire?
No.
Hootie.
No.
This is, it's Pearl Jam.
It's the cover of Pearl Jam.
Oh, this is the cover
This
of
is
the song.
cover and Pearl Jam.
So this is not Pearl Jam singing?
No, it's Just
Okay.
Breathe by Pearl Jam. But you'll get the artist.
Yes, I understand that every life must end.
Really?
Uh-huh.
It's Willie Nelson.
Sure.
And his son.
As we
Sure.
sail on, I know someday we
But I absolutely love
That's
this
interesting
song.
that he covered them.
I absolutely love this song, and I like this cover for some reason.
The song in general is a good song.
Yeah.
Didn't really predict Willie Nelson covering it. but
that
yeah,
is
what it is.
that is my top 5.
Did you want to run any of your honorable mentions? Or you
Yeah,
want me
I
to do
can-
my top 5 and we'll do honorable mentions all at once?
I can play a couple of my honorable mentions.
I think you feel bad if one of his honorable mentions was one of your songs.
That's
Yeah,
what I
you know
mean.
what, give me the-
Okay, yeah, we'll wait. I'll play my honorable mentions after we're done yours, just in case they happen to be on your list.
Give me that thing.
You want to hand the wire over?
Let me actually look at my list because I have to sort through here.
You didn't put them in order?
No, I did. No, I have to sort. Nope.
I
Sorry.
still have to make up my order.
Hit the wrong button. All right, you ready? So my number 5.
All right.
I have to find it because I have them all on the playlist, including my honorable mention. Here we go.
This is a good one.
This is a good one.
I'm gonna know all your songs when I didn't know any of his artists. At least I
You
knew
bet.
all his songs, but I didn't know any of his
Yeah,
artists.
you probably will know all of mine.
Yeah.
It's Boys of Summer, I know that.
That's the Ataris.
It's
Yeah. You know who did the original?
Don Henley.
It's Don Henley. I'll let him get to the
book.
Little bit of singing first. This is a great one, especially like now, where we're at now, where it's really nice out. Roll the
Always
windows
play.
down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blast this one. Sometimes blast Don Henley and then blast this
Blast
one.
the Ataris.
Back to back. So that's number 5. This next one for me, another song of theirs is in my honorable mention, but almost interchangeable for me. Let me make sure I select the right one because I have 2 of their songs in my.
Lauryn Hill.
Well, this is
The
her
Fugees.
singing. This is the Fugees.
You knew it.
We have our first duplicate of the day.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Did it make it higher than number 4 for you?
Yeah.
This is a fantastic
I
song.
love this song.
This
This song is
such a
so
good
fucking good.
The original being done by Roberta Flack.
I also happen to know what the other one is.
Yeah. Well, it's like their 2 most famous songs.
That's true.
What's the other one?
They
Oh,
did-
it's in your honorable mention. We'll wait.
We'll get it there.
This is a good cover.
It's a Bob Marley cover, the other one.
This is why Clef
I don't know that part there. Was that part always in it? I think they cut that out for the radio where they're all like talking.
I don't know.
This part.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they cut this out.
I've
on the
heard this
radio.
before though. So.
Yeah, this might be the album version. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 3 is Ben made mention of the name of the song earlier, but he put the wrong artist.
I did.
We have our second duplicate of the day.
Okay.
This is Jimi Hendrix, obviously, all along the Watchtower. Original by Bob Dylan. I honestly think the original is almost unlistenable.
Because
of
what
Bob Dylan.
But the original was probably good when it came out.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how Bob Dylan sings either.
Oh well, that's I like Dylan. So.
Did you?
I like some
that.
Dylan. Other songs I can't do it.
Yeah, but this is now he has another song. I don't have it on here, but "Hey Joe" apparently is a cover.
Yep.
He
Is
did
it
that.
really?
Yep.
Yeah, supposedly.
Who did the original?
I couldn't find it. That's why I didn't put
Yeah, I
it
don't
on here
know
because
either.
I wasn't sure.
But I do know it's a cover.
But yeah, so that was number 3. Let's get into number 2. This one's a little less known nowadays.
There's been about 100 covers of this song, it feels like. Like, everybody's done one.
Probably, yeah. This one was on the radio like a while ago.
Yeah. I like this version.
Do you know who it is?
No. I would know it by now, too. I don't know, because I would know the singer, and I don't.
Well, it's obviously 99
It's
Red
99
Balloons.
Balloons, yeah.
99 Red Balloons. The original was done by Nina.
I know this version, and I can't pick up on it. I don't know.
This is probably their most famous song. It's Goldfinger.
That's it.
Yeah. That might.
This is a good cover.
It is a really good cover.
It's a good one.
They have another cover which is on my honorable mention, so I'll save it for later. Actually, I might as well play it now. I might. Yeah, here we go. This is just an honorable mention. Another Goldfinger cover that they did that I really like.
Show me how you do that trick. The one that makes
It's really short. It's only like 2 minutes long.
Well, because they're playing it like double time.
Yeah. That's The Cure did the original.
Yeah.
Just Like Heaven's the name of the song. All right, so my number 1, I accidentally started playing it earlier.
Don't worry, I didn't hear it.
I didn't either. Oh, turn the page.
It is Turn the Page, yeah. You got that one right away. I just think this is so good. It's like, I'm not a huge Metallica person in general, but I mean, this song is really, Bob Seger did the original. Really good song, good lyrics and everything. It's like 6 minutes long, but when you add Metallica with their guitars and their heavy rock going in with it, like at certain parts, like you know how it's soft right now, later they really hit it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a really good song.
I listened to it on my way over here.
They've done I think they've done a couple covers.
They've done a few, yeah, and they're all pretty good. I mean, they do a lot of really good covers.
I'm a Metallica fan. I like Metallica.
Yeah, I don't like all their stuff because some of their stuff is too heavy for me. But they do have a lot of songs that I really do like.
All right, we're passing the court over. Steve's
It's
up.
my turn.
Even though we know 2 of his now.
Yeah, you know 2 of mine.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll just play them shorter. So yeah, like I said, I had trouble, but I came up with 5, and here are the 5. I didn't come up with an order. That's why I'm stalling right now, because I'm trying to figure out what the order is. So I'll make this one number 5. A lot of people don't know this is a cover.
A Man Who Ruled the World. Nirvana. I don't know who did the original, but I knew this was the cover.
Yeah, I should have looked up who did the originals, but I didn't. So,
What's it called?
Man Who Sold the World.
Man Who Sold the World.
This is
the MTV Unplugged version. Like, they're famous.
Yeah, this is the
MTV
one you
Unplugged.
always hear.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, David Bowie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I was talking about were people, they either don't know that this is the cover.
Right.
You know? Like, that's kind of what makes it.
Yeah, the original was David Bowie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then, like we said, you're going to hear a couple songs that you've heard before. They happen to be the next 2 for me. I have All Along the Watchtower. You can play it twice. As 4. And I have the Fugees at 3. So, me and
we
Adam,
just had them flopped.
Yeah, I
They're
think
flipped.
so, yeah. I think so.
I had Fugees 4 and Hendrix 3.
And while I am a Dave Matthews Band fan, and I love hearing him play All Along the Watchtower at concerts, I do appreciate the Jimi Hendrix version better.
And honestly, that's one like some people might not even realize is a cover.
Yeah,
because that gets
Jimi
played.
Hendrix one?
Yeah, that gets played so many more times than the Bob Dylan version.
Yeah,
because it's so much better.
Yeah, it is really good. So what I have at number 2 is it's kind of it's a ballad. It's kind of a weird song. I might have to skip through it to get to the actual part. But it's been covered it was kind of like 99 Red Balloons. It's been covered like 1,000 times, but for me, this is just the best version. And it's more of a ballad. I can wait to see you guys. I guess I'll wait to see so you guys can guess it.
Is this how all the versions start out, or is this version?
No.
It's Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the best version
Is
for
this,
me. This is the Jeff Buckley.
Is this the Jeff Buckley version? Yeah,
Yeah.
this was on my honorable mention. This is a really good version. The original was done by Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, and like I said, it takes a while to get into it. But
Yeah, it does, because it's another long one. It's like, what, 6 minutes or something
7,
like that?
yeah.
7 minutes.
I do like the Jeff Buckley version though too.
This is.
I think I've
yeah.
heard the radio edit, so I've never heard any of this.
Yeah, they cut all
the
this out.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets into it.
This was on my honorable mention. This is your
Yeah.
number 2?
Yeah, this is my number 2.
This is a good number 2.
Yeah. And he starts.
Right
Once he
around,
starts
right
singing.
around here, I would have gotten it.
Yeah.
It's very. That's another one that's like.
I heard there was a secret chord.
It's kind of just a chill song. You
Yeah.
Just, you kind of hang out and listen
Well, it's
to it.
powerful to listen to.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
he starts. Yeah. Like he starts getting into it.
This is one of those songs that, in like the right time in a movie, you would get the chills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Like Shrek.
Yeah. Exactly. When she turns into an ogre.
Yeah.
At the end.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't think that version's in Shrek, but it is in Shrek. And my number 1 cover, I think it's safe to say that I can call you guys idiots for not having this as your number 1 cover as well.
All right.
There's no doubt in anyone's mind that this is the greatest cover of all time.
Overheard?
And it's a live song, so I'll let you guys guess it.
This is
This is Turn Around. Every now and then.
what? Is that really what this is?
Yeah.
Who is it?
I'm so good at recognizing these songs. I don't know who it is, though.
Every now and then I get a little bit lonely.
Meatloaf?
You guys don't have it yet? No, it's not Meatloaf.
That's what it sounds like.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening.
This is even better. You guys don't know what this song is.
I know the song. I don't know the artist.
Then I get a little bit nervous.
Bon Jovi?
Oh my god, you guys are the worst.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified. I see the fucking look.
Oh my god! The greatest cover song of all time.
It's the Dan Band.
The Dan Band.
Yeah, man.
Made famous in old school.
Every now and then I fall apart. And I
That's fantastic.
Son of a bitch.
I fucking need you
That's,
more
nah, you're right. That is a good one.
They made an appearance in Hangover 2 or 3, and they did they either did Candy Shop or Disco Stick, or not Disco Stick.
Magic Stick.
Yeah, Magic
I think
Stick.
it was Candy Shop, though.
Yeah, in Hangover they made it.
It is, yeah, because I remember the word lollipop being uttered by the Dan Band.
So for the people that
And I think
don't know,
it's the first Hangover.
is it the first
Yeah,
one?
it's the first one.
So the Dan Band is
Oh, yeah, it's at the very end of the first one.
they essentially just cover songs and add curse words to them.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Which is how they made
Which
their living.
makes it great.
Yeah. So that's my number 1 cover song.
That's a good one.
I think they're coming to the area soon, too.
Dan Band.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
We might have to see if we can try and get them on the podcast.
I'll check.
So.
Steve has to be a part of that interview,
Oh,
obviously.
absolutely. Absolutely. I don't care if we let Steve do the interview by himself.
They're coming to the Sands, I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I'll find out
I
the
thought
date.
I saw something about them coming.
Yeah, I'll find out.
coming
They
soon.
sell out.
May,
venues.
oh, wait, they're coming this week, May 8th.
Oh, that's too short a
Yeah,
notice.
too short. There's Friday, May 8th.
But they've been around before, too, though.
I
so
think, they'll come back.
They'll come back again.
They will come back.
So, do we want to do some honorable mentions of ours?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So,
I have no honorable mentions, but
Steve.
that was a good one to end on, though.
Steve does not need the plug any longer
I do not.
for the rest of the podcast.
I'll do a couple more honorable mentions. There's actually a couple of them are actually Johnny Cash, because Johnny Cash has done a number of great covers. One of them is actually a Beatles cover.
This is Johnny Cash?
This is Johnny Cash doing a cover of In My Life by the Beatles.
There are places I'll remember.
There's this Joaquin Phoenix.
All my
No, it's actually Johnny
life.
See, you talk about how you don't like the way Dylan sounds sometimes. I don't like Johnny Cash.
The way Johnny Cash
Really?
sounds.
I don't like Johnny Cash.
Here's a.
I liked him better when he got older.
And that's where a lot of these covers are actually from.
Yeah.
Like this is actually a Soundgarden cover.
You wired me awake and hit me
I don't know
with
the
a
song.
hand of
Rusty Cage?
broken nail.
And the other one you might know is actually.
These are all Johnny Cash?
These are all Johnny Cash. Yeah. It's an '80s cover.
Yeah, it sounds
that he
familiar.
did. You'll probably know in a second.
your own
Yeah.
personal
Jesus.
Jesus.
Is that the name of the song? I don't-
Personal Jesus.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Someone to
We
hear
played
you.
this one while we were prepping.
This is another one that I didn't know as a cover in the sense that I thought this was the actual song. So
Oh, really?
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, this is David Cook, who was
Don't
an
you-
American Idol alum.
You thought the David Cook version was the original?
Oh, this isn't what I thought it was. Yeah, it sounded exactly the same
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yeah. I was like, that
couple-
song's been around much longer than David Cook.
A couple more honorable mentions. I think I have like 2 more. Well, 3 more, because we have Love Roller Coaster.
Love Roller Coaster.
Which is
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I still can't remember who did the original. Bayside something.
Bayside Heights.
Bay City Riders. Bay City something.
Sin City Blues.
No. I'll let it play out while you're looking it up. It's a good cover.
Ohio Players.
That's it. I knew it was something.
You're
playing.
close with Bayside.
Yeah. Name them. Can you tell me what movie this is from?
Dazed and Confused. I don't know.
Beavis and Butthead Do America.
I wouldn't have got that. I would not have guessed that.
This is a Motown cover that I really like.
Boys to Men?
No. Not Motown Philly.
This is a cover ABC.
Nope.
It's a Jackson 5 song.
Jackson 5 song?
Yeah, it's Give Me One More Chance.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not
Son
Give Me
of
One
a
More Chance
bitch.
either.
It's the bird one, right? No. What the?
The bird one?
I don't know. There's a bird mentioned in one of their songs.
No, it's I Want You Back.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
Yeah.
And one more. This one came.
Who sings this one?
It's called A Loss for Words.
Okay.
That's the name of the group. They have an album out that's all nothing but Motown covers, which is actually.
Did you ever hear those albums that come out as like punk does rap or punk? They where a bunch of punk bands cover a ton of other songs. Like it's all covers.
One more honorable mention, and this one came very, very close to making my top 5. We'll see if you'll know the song. We'll see if you know the artists.
You can put Chris Allen's Heartbreak on here?
No. Figured I'd leave that one to you.
I don't even think I have it on my phone. Oh, this is Under Pressure. Is this the My Chemical Romance
The My
cover?
Chemical Romance version.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a good one. I still like the original better.
I love the original.
Yeah, it's so good. Did
But
you ever hear? I know you probably have where it's just the vocals.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah. But I do like this cover too.
I like My Chemical Romance.
Sometimes.
If I'm depressed.
That's about right.
So, all right. So those are some of my honorable mentions.
All right, pass the buck.
We'll pass it back over to Adam.
We'll start off with the other Fuji's one that Steve knows about.
Yeah. I'll probably know it if I hear it.
No, you'll definitely know it.
A dedication to all of
yeah.
worldwide.
This is a good song too.
This is a really good song.
They do a Bee Gees song too. They're just good at whatever they do.
Well, now they're all in prison, so actually just Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill's in prison?
Yeah, I forget why. I don't know if she still is. She was at one
I don't
point.
think she is anymore.
This one's not really a top one, but it's a good classic.
Unchained Melody?
Yeah.
This is a cover?
Sure is.
I didn't know that. There we go.
The original is Todd Duncan. That's an old ass song.
Apparently.
Bob Marley, by the way, did No Woman No Cry, if you didn't know. This one, not better than the original, but gets played a lot.
Another version to come together.
Yeah. You know
This
this?
is the Aerosmith.
This is
version.
the Aerosmith version.
It's a good version too.
I have another Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Stevie Wonder cover.
Stevie Wonder cover, indeed. Higher Ground. This is, I think, better than the original.
I don't know if you can get better than Stevie.
Depends on what kind of music you like.
Yeah.
They're completely different.
True. This one is just a good song in general, I think. This one and the original.
Oh, yeah. I hate Guns N' Roses, though.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Guns N' Roses person.
Hate Guns N' Roses.
But I think this is still pretty good cover.
Just Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
But better than McCartney?
I said it wasn't better than the
okay.
original.
Sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Chill out over there. Goodness, the glare I got was...
Because I thought you would have been crazy for saying Guns N' Roses was better than McCartney.
No. I think I played this earlier when we were doing tests. I don't think I played it yet.
This is a famous one.
Yeah.
This is the hand stuck to the junk scene in American Pie.
Is it?
American Pie 2.
You know who this cover is done by?
Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah. The original, obviously, Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Let me look. I don't think I have that Chris Allen song, but I'll check. Yeah, I don't. Sorry to everybody who, when we interviewed Chris Allen, but when I typed in Chris Allen, it said no results found. So I think that's it, right?
I have one more that I just looked up that I want to play. And then we'll... I actually looked it up on my laptop. This is another one that I actually really like. I don't know how loud this is going to be, so
oh boy,
we'll find out.
Oh boy.
Actually, it's turned down on my YouTube, so it's.
You can ease it in
As soon as it starts. I'm gonna start. Where? Oh, there we go.
It's pretty loud.
I'm getting there.
There you go.
This is a cover I heard, I think, about like 2 or 3 years ago.
Is it U2 and Green Day?
It is.
Is it the Saints Are Coming?
You're looking right at the screen. Jackass. But I like this cover.
I think I've heard it before.
Skip it a little bit. I don't know who did the original. I'm not too familiar with that. I first heard this, I think it's in the trailer for the sequel to the Boondock Saints.
This version?
This version, yeah.
The Skids did the original.
Okay. Old UK punk band. This song makes me want to drive fast.
Sweet.
It's bad?
Yeah, but that's what I got for my covers. So I think we pretty much covered everybody.
Yeah, we just passed Steve's like 10 minutes ago, so.
Yeah. Hopefully you remember.
So, we should get ready to wrap things up then. So, what do you say we move on and we hit Adam's weekly update?
And now, the Showcast Weekly Update.
This week's weekly update brought to you by Cover Songs. The cover songs, which is what we just did. Starting things off, a new study release says that men who can make you laugh are actually better in bed. Keep listening for your chance to find out just how bad in bed I really am.
Yeah. But you made me laugh.
I know.
Well done.
Find out. According to a report from the CDC, a dog has infected a human with the plague for the first time in U.S. history. Cats everywhere hoped this news would make them man's new best friend, but unfortunately for them, everyone still hates cats.
I don't hate... Yeah, I kind of do. And I have them.
Deep down inside, you
Yeah.
know, everybody hates cats. Next up, researchers are working on a plane that travels at Mach 7 and could make day trips to Australia a reality. For those travelers who are in a hurry to visit a place where you can be eaten or killed by pretty much everything you see. Next up, a new study by cardiologists has revealed that polygamy increases the risk of heart disease in men. Having multiple wives puts more strain on your heart? Color me surprised. Next up, according to a new study, marathon runners may continue to race because they actually forget the pain from their last experience. Unfortunately for Michael Bay, this study does not apply to moviegoers. And finally, we'll wrap things up. A beer company in Argentina has hired a dentist to replace 3 rugby players' knocked-out teeth with beer openers. They've also hired a surgeon to replace their penises with mini kegs. And that is your weekly update.
So, all right, cool. So, we'll get ready to wrap things up. Next week on the show, we still have a potential interview possibly happening. Not guaranteed yet. So once that is, if that happens, once it happens, we'll post it on the Facebook page and on our website. So just keep an eye on our webpage, www.nextlevelradioonline.com, and our Facebook page, facebook.com/nextlevelradioonline, and our Twitter account @NXTLevelRadio. Follow us on all of them, as well as iTunes, like as we mentioned earlier in the podcast. So keep an eye on that. So if that interview actually happens, we'll post it up on there, so you will know. But if not, if that interview doesn't happen, we're still going to have a special guest on next week, which I'm very, very excited about. Steve, I don't know if you were with us full time yet when we had talked to this guy. I guess we're going to reveal it here, huh?
Yeah, sure.
So, next week on the show, just because he was such a pop culture junkie when we talked to him last time, and with all the movies coming out this summer, it doesn't make any sense to not talk to him. And he was excited because he actually wants to join us to co-host, not just like come on and do another interview. Matt Damon. No, it's not Matt Damon.
Oh,
that'd be awesome. We're going to be talking. We're going to be joined by Archer's Lucky Yates. Whoop! Whoop! You Chris Berman. Whoop! Whoop! But yeah, he's going to be joining us for at least one segment. We're going to try and talk him into doing both. We're going to try and talk him into doing the entire show with us.
Yeah, we'll see how long he wants to come on for.
So
maybe he'll do the interview with us if we get an interview.
If we get the interview with him, yeah, we should hit him up to see if he'll come on and do the interview.
Do you want to interview another celebrity with us?
Celebrity on celebrity interviews. So
it's like Between Two Ferns.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, he's going to be joining us as a special guest celebrity co-host next week, which is pretty awesome. So I'll have my recap of Comic-Con next week, hopefully, as well as like my time on the panels and everything like that. We'll talk about that a little bit. But other than that, I don't know. Is there anything else we need to... Oh, well, special thanks obviously to DeSales University and WDSR Radio for having us in their studio, allowing us to use it this week. I think the chemistry worked with all three of us in the studio.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
I could be a complete jackass with that. No, it was fun. It was fun actually being in the same room. So we'll have to be able to, we'll do this again in the future. And it's going to come in handy if we get any, like, in-studio guests.
Yeah.
We'll have a place to bring them.
Yeah. Already working on a couple, so.
So,
it will happen.
So, yeah, again, special thanks to DeSales University and WDSR Radio. Special
DeSales.edu /WDSR.
There you go. See, I didn't know that, so I couldn't have said it.
Yeah, well.
And special thanks, another plug to our sponsor for Comic-Con, Effin Comics in Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. Visit their website, www.fncomics.com. They're sponsored us slightly. It wasn't, I don't want to talk bad about it, so I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah. It's not anything bad anyway. The shop I go to. Tom, the owner, is actually a really cool dude, so it's awesome that he gave us some money towards Comic-Con. So we give him some plugs.
You have a website too?
I just said it. fncomics.com.
Okay.
EFFIN.
Comics. I left the room for a minute.
Mentally?
Yes.
There you go.
That happens more often than you think.
So...
No, it doesn't.
Or maybe not. Yeah. Just going to say.
So if anybody has anything else?
No. Just want to reiterate thanks to DeSales. Make sure you watch Gotham. The finale is tonight.
Yes,
May 4th if you're listening to it on Monday. If not, it's probably already played, so just go to Fox's On Demand. And thanks again to Drew Powell.
Yeah.
Follow him on Twitter at Drew Powell. And I think that's it.
Steve, anything?
Happy Mexican Independence Week.
Oh, and Star Wars Day.
May the 4th
and Star
be with
Wars
you.
Day.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Steve mentions Mexican Independence. We immediately go to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just shows you where our priorities are.
Yeah.
So, Cinco de Mayo. If you celebrate Cinco de Mayo, stay safe, obviously. But with that being said, we are out of here. We will hopefully be joined by you guys next week. Have a safe week, and we will see you next time.
Later.
Yeah.
This is special.